It's your 35th birthday. You finally saved some money, and now you hit the question that starts fights at family dinners. Do you buy a house or keep renting? Ask 10 people, you'll get 10 answers. And let's be real, most of them are biased. Homeowners preach buying, renters defend renting. Everybody's protecting their choice. So forget opinions. Let's do a scoreboard. To compare side by side what happens if you buy and what happens if you rent in long run. Meet Mike and David. They're both middle income, normal lives. Same salary, same raises, same spending habits. No one's a genius, no one's a disaster. The only difference is housing. Mike buys a modest home. David rents a similar place. And David invests whatever Mike spends above rent, automatically, every month. Here's the simple math we're using. Home price, $405,400. Mortgage rate, 6.09%, 30-year fixed. Down payment, 20%. Closing costs, 3%. Property taxes, I'm using 1% a year as a placeholder. Some places are way higher, some lower. Home insurance, about $2,110 a year. Maintenance, the classic 1% rule. Set aside about 1% of the home's value each year. On the rent side, starting rent, $2,005 a month. Rent growth, about 2.9% a year. And investing, investment return assumption, 6% a year. Home value growth assumption, 3% a year. Now watch what happens. Year 0, the starting line. Mike buys. House is $405,400. He puts 20% down. That's about $81,080. Closing costs about $12,162. So Mike ties up about $93,242 up front. His loan is $324,320. Now the monthly payment math. Mortgage payment, principal and interest, comes out to about $1,963 a month. Then you add the grown-up stuff, property taxes, insurance, maintenance. So Mike's all-in housing cost is about $2,877 a month. David rents. Rent is $2,005 a month. And David invests the same upfront cash Mike used, $93,242, instead of putting it into a house. And monthly, Mike is paying about $2,877. David is paying $2,005. That difference is about $872 a month. So David invests $872 a month. Same life, same paycheck, just two different paths. Year 5, reality shows up. 5 years in, Mike's home value is about $470,900. Mortgage left is about $302,100. Equity is about $168,800. Sounds great, right? And Mike's like, bro, I'm building wealth. And then life hits him in the mouth. Water heater, HVAC acting weird, something leaks at 2 a.m. Owning is cool until your house starts asking for money like it's your third child. His monthly all-in cost by now is about $3,024. David, the renter-investor, rent is up to about $2,317, but his investments, about $181,000. And he's still investing around $707 a month because Mike's monthly cost is still higher. At year 5, buying feels like the win, but the game isn't over. Year 10, the split gets real. 10 years in, home value about $547,000. Mortgage left about $272,100. Equity about $275,000. Monthly all-in cost about $3,196. Mike's feeling solid. David, rent is about $2,679. Investments are about $287,000. And he's still putting in around $517 a month. Here's the vibe difference. Mike's wealth is in the walls. David's wealth is in an account he can actually tap if life goes sideways. That's the trade. Flexibility versus stability. Year 20, retirement anxiety starts whispering. 20 years in, Mike, home value about $738,100. Mortgage left about $176,100. Equity about $562,000. Monthly all-in cost about $3,626. He's closer to paid off. That feels amazing. But the house is older now, so the repairs get spicy. Roof, big plumbing, major stuff. David, rent is about $3,579. Investments are about $574,000. And now the difference is tiny, only about $48 a month. So at year 20, it's basically neck and neck in cash flow, but they're holding different kinds of risk. Year 30, the end game. 30 years in, Mike, home value about $996,000. Mortgage left, $0. So equity is basically the whole thing, $996,000. But here's the part people forget. Even when the mortgage is gone, you still pay taxes, insurance, maintenance. So Mike's monthly all-in cost is still about $4,207. David, rent is about $4,781. Investments are about $1,009,000. And notice what happened. By year 30, rent is actually higher than Mike's all-in homeowner cost. So David is effectively pulling about $574 a month from investments to keep it fair. So who wins? Not buyer versus renter. The winner is whoever sticks to the plan and doesn't get wrecked by a bad decade. The simple takeaway? Tell your friend version? Buying tends to make sense if you're staying put a long time, you can afford repairs without credit card pain, and you're not stretching the payment to the ceiling. Renting can make sense if you actually invest the difference, like for real, automatically, and you want flexibility, job changes, health stuff, moving closer to family. If you're 45 plus and trying to retire without guessing, hit subscribe. I'll keep it real. No hype, just the scoreboard.